Yeladim, this week is a double parasha. It's not one parasha, but two parashiot, and it's the parasha of Vayakhel and Pikudei. Vayakhel means that Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, gather all the Jews, and Pikudei means to count every single one and show how each one is so special and that Hashem loves every single Jew. And then Moshe came and he said, Jewish people, please bring nice things so we can build a Mishkan for Hashem, a special house for Hashem. The Pasuk says, Ve'asu li Mishkan, ve'shachanti betocham. They should make for me a Mishkan, and I will dwell among them. And the Jewish people were so happy. All the mummies and all the daddies and everybody came running and they said, wow, I want to be part of building the Mishkan. I used to Falea. I want to be part of giving things for the Mishkan. Here, you can have my necklace. I'm going to give my necklace. And another person came and said, oh, they brought their chests filled with nice things. And they brought all kinds of jewelry, both the men and the women. They brought all different nice things and all kinds of nice stones, like nice diamonds and necklaces and bracelets and earrings and rings and chests filled with jewels and gold coins, more and more gold. And they were so excited to give something for the bed. Okay, children, we need to be quiet. Children, we need to be quiet, okay? Sweetheart, tomorrow can't tell.
Yeah, there's no
parasha if we're talking. There's the rule now is no talking. And all different kinds of gold. Till children, there was so much. There was piles and piles and piles of gold and treasures. And Moshe Rabbeinu said, enough, stop, it's too much. We don't need to bring so much. And they took all the gold. And children, in this big parashiot, it talks about all the beautiful things that were made for the Mishkan. Mora is just going to show us a few things because I don't have time to go through everything. But they made a beautiful table called a shulchan. And excuse me. And the shulchan had lots of shelves on it that they could put 12 loaves of bread. That's right. Good job. Your dad taught you. It's so nice. Okay. That's right. They made a beautiful mizbeach, a golden mizbeach for putting nice spices on it. And they made a very big mizbeach for burning all the different offerings, like big animals. And they made a very nice washing station. It was called a kior, like a something with taps that water came out. And the Kohanim washed both their hands and their feet, the Kohanim and the Levim. And they made a beautiful crown, like it was called a tzitz for the Kohen Gadol to wear. And they made an Aron Kodesh. And the Aron Kodesh was a special box in which the luchot went. And it had two beautiful golden angels on top. And Hashem said to Moshe, I love the Jewish people. I'm so happy they made me this beautiful Mishkan. Ve'asu li Mishkan ve'shachanti betocham. They will make me a Mishkan and I will dwell inside of them. And the Lubavitcher Rebbe teaches us that it doesn't say betocho, I'll dwell in it, but betocham, inside them. That Hashem says, when you keep Torah and mitzvot, when you make your house just like a special house for Hashem, by being kind and nice and inviting people, Hashem will come and dwell among us, will dwell in us, with us. When you take your room, children, and you invite your friends or your brothers and sisters, and you say, come, you can play in my room. You could share my toys. You can play together with me in my room. You're making your room like a little mishkan, or what's called a cheder tzivot Hashem, a special room where Hashem wants to come. So I'm going to tell you a quick story about two very old people who never had any children, but they made their house like a mishkan because they always invited people. Their names were Eliezer and Sarah. Thank you. I was pretty sure, but I wasn't sure exactly. Eliezer and Sarah were two old people. They were so old. They were, I think, almost 100. They were how old? They were 90 and 100, just like Avraham Avinu and Sarah Imenu. And Eliezer and Sarah never had any children. And they were like, we wish we had children. We love children, but Hashem never gave us. And Sarah said, don't worry. We could still use our home for hachnasat orchim, for inviting people and telling them, come. You can come to our house and you could share in our food. And they always did the mitzvah of hachnasat orchim. And it didn't matter who it was, even if the person didn't look very nice. Well, one Shabbat afternoon, children, Shabbat, and Eliezer went to shul, and Sarah went to the women's side of the shul. They were davening, and lots of people were in the shul. And all of a sudden, very dirty-looking man. He was very messy. He had lots of cuts, and he smelled very bad. He was Jewish. He had a tzitzit. Where's his kippah? We'll put a hat on for him. Yeah, he was Jewish. He was Jewish. But children, he didn't look like he was even keeping Shabbat. You know why? He was carrying his things and traveling on Shabbat and walking into the town a far longer distance that you are allowed to walk on Shabbat. It's called Tchum Shabbat. And he was carrying his little bag of things on his shoulders. And he comes to shul, and everybody sees him walk into shul. And everybody was shocked. And they said, he came to our town in the middle of Shabbat and carrying his things. You can't walk so far on Shabbat. It's called Tchum Shabbat. And he's not being good. He's not honoring the Shabbos properly. He's not keeping Shabbat properly. He's not making Shabbat all nice. And he's so dirty and he smelled. Nobody wanted to come near him. And of course, the man was very hungry. But nobody wanted to invite him. The rich man said, I'm not inviting him. He's dirty and smelly. Yuck. And I don't like him. And another rich person said, but he didn't even keep Shabbat properly. Look, he traveled to our town on Shabbat. I'm not inviting him. I don't want him to come to my house. Well, children, suddenly Eliezer saw him. And Eliezer said, there's a poor man. He must be hungry. And Eliezer came to the poor man, and even though he was dirty and smelled very bad and had boo-boos all over him, he came and he said, poor man. Yeah, he did. Would you like to come to my house? You can come. And the poor man came. And as soon as Sarah saw him come, Sarah brought out the food. And she said, come. I'll get you food, poor man. And she set a whole lovely table for everyone to eat. She brought plates with food. And even though Eliezer and Sarah weren't very rich themselves, children, she brought nice food and wine. Well, you know what? As soon as the poor man saw it, you know what he did? He started to grab. And he said, give me that. And he made a splattering mess all over himself. And he took the food and he went. munch, munch, oh, munch, 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 yum, yum, boom. And he didn't even leave anything for Eliezer and for Sarah, and he made an awful mess. And all the guests, the neighbors said, Eliezer, why do you bring this poor man here? He's so bad-mannered. He didn't say please or thank you. And he took all his food himself. He's being so not nice. And Eliezer said, Chas v'chalila, he's a Jew and he's hungry. I don't care. I'm going to do the mitzvah of achnasat orchim. And I'm going to make my house just like a mishkan for Hashem, where Hashem wants to be. Hashem loves to come to places where we have Avat Yisrael. And we do achnasat orchim. And children, Sarah brought bandages. And even though the man really didn't smell nice, she brought bandages and she fixed his arms and his legs, and she brought warm water, whatever she had, or maybe it was after Shabbat, on Motzei Shabbat, and they bandaged him, and they cleaned him, and they made him all better. But children, after Shabbat, the poor man came and he said, Eliezer, Sarah, I have something very special to tell you. And they said, really, what is it? And he said, I'm not really a poor, hungry beggar. And they said, really? And he said, no, I'm not. Actually, I am Eliyahu Hanavi, the angel Eliyahu. I just got dressed up as a poor, dirty old man. But I'm not at all like that. I'm really the Malach Eliyahu Hanavi. And I got dressed up like a poor man. And Hashem sent me to test you, to see if you will do the mitzvah of Achnasat Orchim nicely. And you did. And I'm going to give you a special blessing that even though you're very old, you're almost 100, you're 99 and 90. You're so old, I'm going to give you a bracha to have a baby. And they were so happy, children. And true enough, miraculously, a year later, Eliezer and Sarah had a beautiful baby boy, and they called him Yisrael. And Yisrael grows up to be Yisrael Baal Shem Tov. Yes. Can I do 2 more minutes about Yisrael Baal Shem Tov?
Yeah.
Or we have to run? No, we have
No.
Just a 2 minutes part. Yisrael Baal Shem Tov, children, grows up to be one of the greatest rabbis we ever had. And he spread Chassidut to the whole world. But you know what? When he was still a very little boy, because his daddy and mommy was so old, when he was only 5 years old, he didn't have his daddy and mommy anymore. They passed away. But because before they passed away, Eliezer tells his son Yisrael, he says, Yisrael, I want to tell you, never be afraid of anyone. Know that Hashem is always watching over you. Only fear Hashem and love every single Jew. And when they passed away, children, Yisrael Baal Shem Tov was a little boy of only 5, and one day he was all alone. We must never be all alone, children. We always have to stay near our daddies and mummies. But this was many years ago, and Yisrael was only 5 years old. And he went out and he was in the forests. And all of a sudden a big bear came. And Yisrael was so scared. He was alone in the forest with a bear. And he didn't know what to do. And he wanted to scream. No, it was actually a dangerous bear. Mommy Mora has a cute looking teddy bear. But in the real story, it was a big grizzly bear. And he really wanted to scream. And he wanted to shout, bear, bear. And he says, oh, I'm so scared. But all of a sudden he remembered and he calmed down. He didn't run and he didn't scream. He says, 1 minute. My daddy told me not to fear anyone other than Hashem. Hashem made the bear. Hashem brought the bear here near me. And Hashem can save me. And without screaming and without running, Yisrael stood very still. And in his heart, he davened to Hashem and he said, please Hashem, save me from the bear. And all of a sudden, the bear looked at him. And instead of coming to hurt him, the bear turned around and it went away. And again, as I told you, and he realized it's because he remembered what his daddy told him. And when he got big, he taught us all Chassidut. And it says that Mashiach will come when the teachings of the Baal Shem Tov will spread to the whole world. So may we have Mashiach again very soon and have the Bet HaMikdash again.
Everybody,
Yeah, that's right. The name is Israel. I know Israel made